This morning weather coverage continues right now with Suzanne Collins. She has more on the dangers that come along with the heat and what you can do to stay safe this weekend. Suzanne?
Well, Adam, the governor is telling people today that these heat deaths should remind us to take precautions, both check on the elderly, and if you feel overwhelmed, get to some air conditioning or perhaps a government cooling center. Thursday's record high temperature was over 100. It's just one day in a week of sweltering weather. 2 Baltimore County residents and 1 in Montgomery, all over age 65, died during this heat wave.
All for people who had underlying medical conditions, underlying medical problems of one kind or another. Plus, they were indoors.
The state says check on the elderly, get them fans. Young children or babies can be victims of oppressive heat. Last week, this preschooler spent 4 hours in a hot van when she fell asleep and wasn't noticed after a field trip.
And she has no medical condition. They said if it was another child, she could probably have died in the van.
And the temperatures in cars frequently will get to 120 or 140 degrees when the sun's out and it's this kind of weather.
It's also dangerous for dogs in cars. Heat deaths in Maryland have been dropping in recent years. In 2007, there were 21, 17 the next year, only 6 last year. But this year, it's only June 26, and already there are 3.
Heat-related deaths are avoidable, and that's why we have the code red heat alert. We're asking everyone, when it gets hot like this, check on your vulnerable neighbors.
Heat stroke, the worst condition, and a milder form, heat exhaustion, can be reversed by cooling body temperature.
Altered mental status is a very important clue. So if they're not alert, if they're very, very sleepy, if their skin is hot and dry, if they're not sweating.
The other advice from doctors in our report is wear light clothing that's loose-fitting and drink a lot of water or juice so you don't become dehydrated. Adam, back to you on TV Hill.
All right, good advice, Suzanne. Thank you. And remember that WJZ is always on for more information on the cooling center locations, instant updates on this forecast, and live Doppler radar at any time. Just log on to WJZ.com.